As your company grows, what's growing with it is more stress, more chaos, more responsibility on you. And so many do what seems obvious. They hire someone to help with account management. Maybe a project or an operations manager to take over the day-to-day and handle the clients so that you don't have to, and then it just falls apart anyway. Let me tell you why that happens and what actually works instead. One of our clients, I'll call her Rachel, came to us after a pretty painful experience. She hired a manager to take over client-facing work, and it was someone she knew, someone she'd worked with before, and she trusted this person. And within a few months, clients were unhappy, their results dropped, and they lost about half of their clients. And Rachel was frustrated, and she felt like she did everything right, hired someone experienced, she had trusted them, and it still failed. And here's the thing, it was the structure and not the person. The thing is that when Rachel was the one managing the clients herself, they weren't just getting deliverables, they were getting her strategic brain, her ideas, her judgment, and that's why they actually were paying her. So when she stepped away, all that they got was work output, and that simply wasn't enough. So here's the pixie dust problem. What I see over and over again is that clients will hire you because of your brain, because of your experience, because of your judgment. Call it pixie dust, the intangible thing that makes working with you different from everyone else. But that pixie dust comes from years of experience across all kinds of situations. And you can't just hire someone and expect them to be able to replicate that overnight. So when you step away, it's just not the same. And the quality likely drops and your clients get frustrated, and then you get pulled back in to save things. And now you're right back where you started, except you also are paying a manager salary and cleaning up after their messes. Does this sound familiar maybe? So what did we do with Rachel? Well, we didn't try to just find a better manager. What we did is we looked at the foundation. What results has she actually created? Who does she deliver the best results for? And when clients are buying, essentially they're buying her time. What does the client actually want to get from that? Because here's where most businesses get this wrong. They productize around output. Well, here's what we deliver, here's the timeline, and here's the process, right? Very robotic. The problem is if you build your systems around output instead of outcomes, the owner gets pulled back in to maintain quality nearly every single time. You have to productize around future state, that transformation that you want to be known for in the market that clients are eager to pay top dollar for. And when you consider what conditions need to be true in order for your team to deliver that consistently, then they're able to do that without you in the room. And when you get that right, a manager can build the entire infrastructure for you. They can actually execute with precision, better than you, because they're not trying to replicate your brain. They're now following a structure that's built around real results. Now, once this structure is in place, who do you actually hire? Well, if you're under 7 figures, or even if you're in the lower 7 figures, the next role people hire for oftentimes is an account manager who oversees client health, or maybe some other client strategy skill set person. But if you're in this situation and you don't already have these people in place, what I'd recommend is to hire an operations manager who can oversee the whole company. And here's why. They can build out the infrastructure first, and then they can act as your account manager during this transition, and then they can backfill that role so that you can hire more account managers as you grow. And they're going to become the bottleneck for a while, but the difference is that they're going to build the structure to remove themselves. They're going to systematize and then backfill. They're going to do that over and over again in different parts of the company. And some of the things that we also find is that sometimes you hire an operations manager and you find out actually this person is really fantastic in accounts, and sometimes vice versa, right? But if you go at this level, you're going to find someone really fantastic to be able to help drive growth in your company. And that's how you actually scale, is by building the structure first and then putting the right person in place to run it. And you don't have to be the one building the systems or hiring the replacement people or doing all the training. Your operations manager can oversee all of it. I hope this gave you a different way to think about hiring and why the manager you brought on might not be the problem. And as always, if you want to keep going, here's one worth watching next.